What's up, everybody? It's your boy Mike Chavez, and I'm coming to you live on day 224 of my video journey. And so first thing I want to do is wish everybody a very happy Monday. Today's a very somber day, as you can see with the filter here. Today is 9/11. 16 years ago, we had tragedy that struck this country. What's up, Laurel? And the title of this video that I'm doing is called "Why Did I Get This Tattoo?" And I'll share that with you in a minute. But while Facebook is building my audience, I just want to appreciate everybody that's coming in right now. As you come in, if you would please invite some people in to enhance this live experience, that would be great. What's up, Brian? What's up, Cousin E? So, yeah, I don't know how many people are watching this video right now that were alive. You know, it's 16 years ago, 2001, September the 11th. And if you were alive at that time and you were in this country, you'll remember exactly what you were doing. You'll remember the day like it happened yesterday. For me, I remember exactly everything like it happened yesterday. And I was just going to share with you guys my story of what I remember from that day. So in 2001, I was 29 years old, and I thought I had life figured out. And I had a 5-year-old son at the time, and I was recently divorced, and I had a really good job, and I worked at a sports club where athletes and celebrities would always train. So I had a really good job, and for some reason that day I didn't want to go to work. I just decided to call in sick. And I'll never forget, as I was waking up that morning, I had my window open and I heard a TV was really loud, and I heard sirens and I heard all kinds of stuff going on, and I was like, what's going on, you know? And then I just kind of went back to sleep, and then I woke up again, and I kept hearing the same thing, these sirens and all this noise and all this commotion that was going on. So I got up and I went in the living room and I sat down, and right as I sat down, I saw the second plane hit the second tower, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And so that day changed the way that I viewed the world. I think this country that day lost a little bit of innocence. I know that I was still naive. I didn't really understand the gravity of the situation, of what terrorists and what people are trying to do to take our democracy and what we have here in this country. I was like a lot of people, I think, that lived in this bubble that we could not be touched. What's up, Mike? That nobody could harm us, like we were untouchable. And like I mentioned at the time, you know, I had a 5-year-old son, and it really hit me, you know, not only that we are vulnerable, that, you know, something can happen, but when I saw these people walking around the streets with the ashes and the soot on their face, and just what was going on, I just couldn't believe it. So it really changed my perception of the world and the way that our government is and the way that the world actually operates. It really was an awakening for me. And my family has a proud history of serving in the military. My dad's dad, we go back about 4 or 5 generations of serving in the military. And was the type of person that the military wanted when I was at the age of 18, or would have continued through tradition. So I do have a lot of pride for this country. I know we have a lot of problems in this country. I know there's a lot of division. I know that there's things that we need to work on as a country. But I still believe that this is the best country to live in the whole world. We are so blessed. That's why so many people from other parts of the world sacrifice everything that they have to come here. And when they get here, the immigrants that work here are the hardest working people that you will ever see. And unfortunately, there's a lot of Americans that grew up here with a sense of entitlement, and they just don't get it because they've never been abroad, they've never been overseas, they've never dealt and lived in countries where you are killed and dragged out of your house and shot on sight if you don't agree with a certain political party. So that's why this is the best country in the world. And so to get to the story about how I got this tattoo, I don't know if you guys remember, but right after 9/11 happened, that whole week and everything that happened after 9/11, there was such a wave of patriotism in this country. And that is the good thing about this country. That's the thing people forget. We have our problems. We have our differences. But when tragedy strikes, when things happen, we come together. We come together. And that's what happened on 9/11. That's what's happening with the hurricanes. You know, when it really gets down to it, we don't forget who we are. We're Americans. And we should not take for granted the lives that were sacrificed to give us the freedoms that we have. If we don't like this country, we have the right to voice our opinion. If we don't like the way things are, we have a right to voice our opinions. We have a right to worship anything that we want to worship. We have a right to so many things that other people do not have. So after 9/11, I was really grief stricken. I mean, like I said, I was 29, and I wanted to join up. I mean, at the time, the enlistment went through the roof for the military. So obviously, I was 29 years old. I was too old. I wasn't going to enlist or anything, but I wanted simply to buy a flag, okay, just so I could show that my patriotism. And so I started going out. I went to the first store I went to, they didn't have any flags. I'm like, okay, they're sold out. Then I went to another store, they didn't have any flags, they were sold out. So I went to about 5 or 6 different stores, and I couldn't find a flag anywhere. The flags, they were sold out. So I thought to myself, I'm like, man, I really had this burning desire to have a flag. I wanted to feel united with the rest of the country. I wanted to feel a part of everybody coming together. So what I decided to do, I said, you know what? If I can't buy a flag somewhere in a store, I'll just go and get this right here. So this is what I got. I don't know if you guys can see it. You guys see this? See my tattoo? So 16 years ago, I got this tattoo. I don't know if you guys can see it. So 16 years ago, I got this tattoo. And I'll never forget, I went down to the tattoo parlor with my 5-year-old son, and he watched me get this tattoo. And he was only 5 at the time, and he watched me get the tattoo, and it's just one of those memories, that I'll never forget. And so the reason I have this with me now is because I'm proud to be an American. I'm proud to be an American. Like I said, it's not perfect. There's nowhere, anywhere in the world that you can live that's perfect. There's corruption everywhere. It doesn't matter who's in the White House. All it matters is who's in charge of your house. Because at the end of the day, for me, I could speak for myself. It doesn't, when the last president was in the White House to the president now, it's not affecting me. But that's just me. That's just me personally. I can't speak for anybody else. So once I've learned to take responsibility for me and not depend on the government, not depend on the politicians, not depend on other people, other entities that I don't have control over, I had a realization that I'm the only one that has control over me. Nobody is stopping me from achieving the American dream, what immigrants come to this country for. granted, like I said, I'm only speaking for myself. I know that other people are not dealt a hand that they can play as well as others. But there are also people that are dealt that same hand that go on to do the mightiest things and invent things and touch people's lives and change the world in ways that the other person that was dealt the same hand didn't do it. So we all have opportunities in this country. We all do. We all do. We're not dealt the same hand. We are not. But you get to a certain age where you have to take responsibility for every decision that you make. Because every decision that you make, we all know, has you exactly where you are today. Your best thinking has you where you are, or you wouldn't be there. So that's why I get frustrated when I hear people complaining about our country. I don't talk about politics. I'm not talking about politicians. I'm talking about being an American. I've always been proud to be an American. I don't think it's like I'm not condescending to other people from other parts of the world. My wife comes from Sri Lanka. She comes from another part of the whole, on the other side of the world. Different culture. You know, it's like that's what's beautiful about our country. Is there's so many different people. And that's what makes us beautiful. Our differences. If we could learn to embrace our differences and love each other as humans, we all have the same basic needs. We all do. So, you know, we had all this conflict that was going on in the Carolinas before the hurricanes came. And, you know, this is my personal belief that I know God works in mysterious ways. We were getting to a tipping point in this country where it was getting, I mean, it's always under the rug. This division is always under the rug. And it gets to a boiling point and explodes when things happen, like happened in the Carolinas. But God just comes into the situation sometimes. And I believe He doesn't allow people to die or go through misery. But unfortunately, that is the world that we live in. It's not heaven. It's not perfect. But you see, what God does is He takes these tragedies. He takes these calamities. He takes these horrible situations and He makes good out of them by bringing people together. And that's exactly what's happened on 9/11. That's exactly what's happened on all the tornadoes, all the earthquakes, all the hurricanes, all these natural disasters that occur, and all these other crazy things that men do to each other in the world. Especially in this country, it ends up bringing us together. You look at the hurricanes. You see people carrying children out of a house with water. So that's America, guys. That is America. That's the America that I love. So regardless of our division, regardless of our differences, we are Americans. And I want you guys to all be proud to be an American. Be proud to be an American today. Be proud to know that you can relate to somebody from the other side of the world because they're human. Okay, guys, just be proud to be an American today. That's my message. What's up, Sheila? That's my message for today. So, like I said, I mean, these are all my experiences. I mean, I can't even. I mean, there's people today, to this day, that, you know, this happened 16 years ago, that are emotionally scarred from this. There's people that, you know, the first responders I haven't even mentioned. All these first responders that showed up, that got sick and had their families had to fight for benefits for their children and for them. You know, I mean, it's sad the way that all the first responders were treated. It's really, really sad. A lot of that got swept under the rug. The media doesn't talk about all that kind of stuff. They really don't. But those are the true heroes. The people that are willing to run into a burning building to save people they don't know, that's a hero. The people that are willing to go over to another country and die for our freedoms, that's a hero. Not these people on TV, not these celebrities, not Kanye West, not the Kardashians, not these movie stars. The real heroes are people like Christ who died for you. Think about that for a second. The people that are willing to give up their life for other people, those are the heroes. Those are the heroes. To me, that's my opinion for what it's worth. But to me, a hero is somebody that is willing to give their life for somebody else. What's up, Jason? Woo! Thanks for coming in. So, don't forget who we are, guys. We're not black. We're not white. We're not Asian. We're not Caucasian. We're Americans. That's what we are. And be proud. So if there's anybody else that is not in the States watching this, this is who we are, guys. We are a proud country. We are a nation of immigrants. Like I said, I'm not going to get into politics right now, but we are a nation of immigrants. This country was built by immigrants with the dream to come to this land, and that goes back hundreds of years. It still exists today. And so if you are in this country and you're an American and you're complaining about this country, why don't you read your history books? Why don't you understand what you have right here in your hands? You have more opportunities right here than about 95% of the world. So, what's up, Judy? So anyways, I just, I want to thank you guys for coming in. Real quick before I go, I want to do a moment of silence. So bear with me. Okay, guys. Just remember that we are proud to be Americans. Okay? I love each and every one of you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for liking, thank you for sharing, and thank you for commenting. If you guys feel that what I've shared with you guys would be beneficial for anybody that you know, like, or care about, please share this with them and let them know that it's great to be an American. And remember the people that sacrificed their lives to have what we have. What most of us, well, I can't say most of us, what I have taken for granted a lot in my life. Let's not forget. We will never forget. We will always remember, and we will always respect. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. I love each and every one of you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay? Goodbye, guys.